Hello, guys, and welcome to our little version of Meta Focus. So today we are going to be covering the Thousand Suns with my beautiful co-host Harley. How are we doing today, Mr. Harley?
Not too bad yourself, Ed.
All the better for hearing your voice, sir. All the better for hearing your voice. So today we are going to be looking at Thousand Suns. We've got a 101 coming out soon, but for today we're going to cover some of the lists that we like, some of the attachments that we are commonly seeing in the meta. I myself have been a Warp Meld main my entire life, and Harley's been a Grand Coven main his entire life. So between the two of us, I'm sure we'll get this covered. So we're going to start off over by you, Harley, because Grand Coven is the one that people are looking at mainly at the moment, right? It's the one that people are enjoying. It's the one that people are just
It's
smashing
the
face
old
with.
index, isn't it? It's
Indeed,
it's, it's what people know, right?
indeed.
Um,
So hit me with some knowledge. What is the detachment rule?
so the detachment rule is basically a form of Gladius,
Mm,
and you get to pick one of three things. A little bit different to the index one because you used to pick one, and you could do it for the whole game, so you could have dev wounds for the game. Now it's once per turn. It does last till the end of the turn as well. So you pick between +1 to wound with psychic weapons, plus I believe 6-inch range with psychic weapons,
yeah.
and dev wounds with psychic weapons. So it's
Mm,
it's all three are pretty useful, to be honest with you.
yeah.
Um,
They'll get used throughout the game at some stage, right?
100%. They're all useful. Like you would basically use one of them. We use all of them every game. Like there's no reason you wouldn't. And they always come up handy at some point, especially on someone like Magnus when you want that
Indeed.
extra bit of range just to shoot a little bit further than 24.
Yep.
And the Infernal Masters at 24, like it makes things a lot better. And then Dev Wounds is always nasty when you have reroll wounds on the Infernal Master squads.
Yes, yeah. It's the rubric in Infernal Master Combo that's been a classic since the Index 9th edition. No, since the Index 10th edition,
Yeah, it's
and
been
it's just
brutal.
going to be it's going to be there for a while, isn't it? And it seems to be here to stay. So here's with some strats. Here's with some general lingo. Like give us some insight on this Grand Coven monstrosity that is about to hit them out. Well, has hit them out.
So, some of the most useful strats is the same one you had before, which was reroll hits and wounds.
Hmm.
So that is really when you want that big target dead. It's 2 CP. You pop it on Magnus, and he goes to town.
Hmm.
That's typically what you use that one for. You have a reroll to cast. So
Nice.
sometimes when you need that big cast for a Surge or a Doom Bolt or the AP or even the reroll, say you don't get it big, you can reroll all three dice if you're desperate.
Hmm.
So that's really nice. And sometimes even you might reroll three dice to maybe try get rid of some mortal wounds Magnus would take.
Hmm.
So that's a really nice strat. In regards to other strats, I'm actually going to pull it up because they're the main ones I use.
Yeah.
You have put one into a doctrine, so you
Yeah.
don't have to use the army doctrine, which is actually really good because you can put Magnus into plus range or dev wounds depending on what you need for that turn. So that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Another one that is, yeah, it comes up once in a blue moon. The 4+ against psychic attacks, 4+ feel no pain and make them hazardous. Like mirror matches is just going to be horrible if you're both grand covered.
Yeah.
So that's nasty. One that I also forgot that's a really good one is to blank. That's just like amazing, right? Something big comes through to Magnus, you blank it, and you're laughing.
Yeah.
Sticky as well. That's a really nice one for the crystal unit. Normally sits on your backfield. Sticky when you want it to go and send it. So that's like pretty good. So really, all the strats are quite good. You would, you may not use all of them in a game, but you'll definitely use all of them in a 5-round event at least once.
Yeah.
So they are really good strats, to be honest. So
It sounds like a good core, right? It sounds like a good core of what you've been looking at. Like you've got your ability to sort of expand your psychic powers and make them more efficient. You try and make sure that you don't take as much damage from mortal wounds. You have the blank. Obviously, blanks are exceptionally powerful as a general rule in games, especially on Magnus doing it every turn. Especially since he has a CP reroll, a 4 pin
yeah,
run, all that sort of stuff. Like between the lot, they sort of add up, right?
yeah, exactly. Right. Magnus with -1 damage, reroll to save, and then a blank, and then it just becomes really hard to deal with.
I'd agree. I think I think Magnus has been the core of a lot of Grand Coven lists, which we're going to be looking at very shortly. However, some maybe, some not. Some people have been running
Yeah,
without,
some people
and
don't like it.
yeah, some people just don't like him. Just on UKTC map specifically, that was the old terrain. Maybe the new terrain could give some new lease of life to him. But we have to see. So if we look at today, and I'm going to go through Warp Mel quickly as well. I'll go through Warp Mel because I think there's the only are we covering the Bristol list because that's one of the bigger events that we've seen
Yeah, so
recently.
that's been the most recent event with T Sons, their new book,
Hmm.
Bristol. I don't think there was any big ones this weekend, just gone really.
Not much.
Um, the next big one that I can think is Glasshammer this upcoming weekend. I haven't looked at list released on that yet. I don't think they
I
are.
don't think so, not by memory, but I can check. I've literally got BCP open, so I
It
might
will
as well
be
treat myself.
interesting to see lists for that event because that's the next big one, really. So if a lot of people are playing T Sons there, it'd be interesting to see what they're playing. Um, but I imagine the meta is going to be very mixed at the moment. There's a lot out there that's dangerous.
Yeah, it would look like there's not the lists aren't out yet because nothing's checked in. So that's not going to be happening yet. But it is going to be exciting when we see that happen. 'Cause I think that's one thing I would look at as well because I think it's just looking at the other seasons lists that might emerge because I think Warp Mel Pact is going to be coming out soon. Not coming out, but like be more in the woodwork. Because obviously I used it at Bristol, right? So I'm not going to go into my list in too much detail and Warp Mel too much detail because I've gone through my list on a different video and the exact structure, exact list, exactly way I play it. But I'm going to give you guys a general overview so you know what sort of happens. So basically, the detachment rule is you can reactively take D3 mortal wounds for -1 to wound, or you can take D3 mortal wounds for +1 to wound. Right? So that's whenever they attack. So effectively, what you can do is the whole strat of the army is you can do it in combat. So someone piles in to attack you, about to roll their dice, and you're like, I'll take D3 mortal wounds on these goats. Remove the 2 that they've got base to base with for the guys behind. Suddenly they're only swinging with a couple of guys. Suddenly they're -1 to wound. They don't kill you. They stay in combat with you, and then you can pile in a consolidate 6 with goats and then regrow. So that's one of the strats. So that's effectively what that's effectively what you're trying to do with goats. Now the strats are resin goats, so D3 +1 goats. That's great. We love resin goats. Resin goats is always good and fun because that's what, especially on these new UKTC maps, you can see them quite powerful because they're right up to the wall, so you can basically res onto the objective. So that's the first one. The second one is the second one that I used quite a lot was the 6-inch pile of consolidate strat because you've got OC2 goats, so that's great. Then you've got a deep strike, a strat reserves, a deep strike strat, which basically means you can go 6 away with goats, and surge move forward afterwards. So basically creates this very reliable move block, which is really good. And turn 1, you can basically scout, advance, and move anyway. So you can jail people pretty effectively. So basically, it ends up being like, all right, here's a unit of 10 goats. They'll just deploy on the line, and if our scouts that you can only see a couple of them, so or move forward into a better position. And if they go second, but if they go first, that unit is moving forward 6, advancing. Let's say they were like a 4, and then they're going to get they get surged. So suddenly they're going to be going like what, like 22 inches ish on
Yeah,
average.
far, very far.
Yeah, very far. And
Like
you just create
ridiculous.
this line. And basically, my general tactic was put 2 mutants in the middle, put 1 on the top left, and just move block and be like, right, you've got to get through that. Then you've got to kill mutless, which are all -1 to wound, because it's not capped to once. Like you just go, oh cool, that's fine, and it's all good. And so that's the 6-inch pile consolidate strat is that one. Then the next strat we're going to go with, I'm going to go through them in order on the app just so I know what's going on. So next one is Sticky, which is obviously very good.
Always
so
a good strat.
Yeah, command straight Sticky. So 1,000 Psyker within range of objective marker, wholly within your flow of magic. Oh wait, no, this is the wrong. I thought this sounded wrong. That is the wrong detachment. Anyway, I didn't think I had a Sticky strat there, Harley. I was like, what? So gift change, any phase. So whenever a Chaos Assassin's psychic character is destroyed, a Thousand Suns character model is destroyed, including monster, you can't do it to Magnus, they can magically turn into a Tzeentch Chaos Spawn. That's pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah. So you can do it with like Zangor Shaman, send it out for
Something
send it out.
dies and you're just like, yay, spawn.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm gonna send out a Zangor Shaman, put it in the middle of the board for like areas or whatever, and then they draw area and they're a monophase army, and you're like, oh, I'll just bring back the Chaos Spawn in a turn, so you're not gonna get areas and they go, oh.
That's hilarious.
It's really good. It's really good. That's why I brought 2 spawn with me, because they're great on the Zangor Shamans, because Zangor Shamans are like 55 points anyway. So if you get basically you're getting like double efficiency out of them as action pieces, right? So it's really good. You can only use it once per battle round. So you can't do it like multiple characters, but you can be like send one out, die, then come back. They've got Warped Vistitude, which is your opponent's shoot phase or fight phase. You can give a Zangor unit from your army a 4-pin button. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. Like 4-pin button is, I'll be honest, it's rare I use it because most of the time when these getting hit, they're just not getting hit or they're dying. Like it's one or the other. It's very rare that you'll have a unit of 10 goats that with a 4-pin button will actually help them survive in the position that they're in. But it can be useful. Then, fight phase, just after each unit, this is the next one, to range Frosty. Fight phase, just after each mutant army unit from your army selects to fight. So that's your Chaos Spawn, your Zangor, your Mutaliths, stuff like that. Until the end of the phase, you get the 6-inch pile and consolidate. So you can do that on Mutaliths. So you can basically like kill, like if you have 2 Mutaliths, you can kill something with a Mutalith and then pile and consolidate the other one 6.
That's
just
pretty
fly
good.
off somewhere. It's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, so that's obviously very good. And then then basically, that's basically it. Then we go on to Blessed Transformations. This is the res. You can do D3+1 models back to a Zangor's unit. And then Touched by Tzeentch. This is his advance, shoot, or charge.
Okay, nice.
We love that. So you can advance and shoot a Mutalith. And it's basically, the thing is, this is where the Mutalith's threat range becomes a bit bonkers. So let's say, for instance, they try and hide a Dawn. You're like, okay. I'm going to move 10, advance, and then surge, and then shoot you. So suddenly you've got a max threat range on a like Mutalith to 22 inches.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
It's really scary. It's really scary. I did it to push Mutaliths into people's face really early on. Because then people have to deal with Mutaliths while you score points with your goats.
Is there any good enhancements? That's something I forgot about to grab.
Oh yeah, enhancements. But I'll finish this last strat, which is that's a 6-inch deep strike. We've covered that. So I'll cover the enhancements quickly. There is a couple of okay ones. So there's Warp Meld Dagger. So whenever so it's on Zangor Shaman, each time the bearer attempts a ritual, but just before doing the psychic test, the bearer can use this enhancement. If it does, bearer suffers D3 mortal wounds. If it's not destroyed, add 1 to the psychic test for each of those mortal wounds it takes. Basically gives you a 10 point of plus D3 to cast at some stage, because you can't use it twice. But then the funny thing is, when you do it the next time, you still take the mortals, you get the second cast out of it, and you get a spawn. It's just like, okay, sure. So you get 2 uses out of it, basically. Because you can take more mortal wounds than, you got wounds. It's just a case of you just come back as a spawn afterwards, I suppose. But you will normally want to keep your psychers alive. The second one you can do is on a Zangor Shame model, while the bearer is leading the unit, you can make the unit subtract -1 to hit roll, which is basically means unit 20 goats, -1 to hit, nice. Braylord, which is a sorcerer or infernal master unit, and the bearer gets a scout move.
That's pretty good.
And the bearer can be attached to Zangors, so you can actually have an infernal master in Zangors. No idea why you would want that, but you can. Then Flowing Flesh. The Zangor Shame model only. The bearer has a Feel the Pain 4-up and 5 wounds. It's not bad. It's an annoying piece then. And yeah, so that's my enhancements. You've got some enhancements, haven't you, Harley?
Yeah, so these guys with enhancements become pretty tasty. So the enhancements that we're looking at is Crystal, which is uppy downy. And I believe it's in your command phase as well, so it's not at the end of your opponent's turn, which is pretty good. You can see your cards and then do it. It's so good with Surge. It's just a really good enhancement. As said as well, you sort of sitting back on your home field, Crystal, sticky the objective, then push forward. So that's really good. The other one, which probably the best enhancement maybe in the game or up there, +1 damage and +1 strength on a flamer that can have death wounds and 4 rerolls. Strength 7, AP 2, damage 2 flamer. It's pretty bonkers, that flamer.
It is annoying. It is an annoying flamer. It's an annoying flamer.
When you shoot, right, you get a flip to a 6, so you're guaranteed 2 dev wounds. You're probably going to roll, say, 7 shots, so you're going to get maybe 1 6, maybe 2 if you're lucky. So you're doing 4 to 6 mortals, and then you re-roll from the rubric, so now you're maybe doing another 2 mortals. So you're doing like maybe 8 mortal wounds, plus a doom bolt, plus a grenade. It gets
peaky.
It's pretty scary. Like that.
Yeah.
That might be the best enhancement in the game, in my opinion.
I think it's close. Like I think for its role in the army, it's probably the best one in the game. Um, but like I think the closest one I can think of is probably the sustained three like
Captain, yeah.
captain. That's bonkers. And then obviously that's it really. Oh, Tannis' Bones on Black Templars is fun when the unit doesn't cost 400 points. But yeah.
Yeah, and then the other enhancement is a once per game double doom bolt, which is like it's 15 points. Why not?
Yeah.
Especially with knights coming out quite heavily, two doom
Mhm.
bolts is kind of handy.
Yeah.
So yeah, the enhancements are really good in this detachment. Like you're taking 3 out of the 4. I don't even know what the 4th one is to be honest with you. But I know them 3 are auto take in pretty much every list that sort of gets writ.
Yeah, you can whenever you cast. The last one is whenever you manifest a ritual, you add 6 to the range. So that's not
That's
bad.
actually pretty good as
It's
well.
not bad. It's just 20 points. Like
Mm,
yeah, so it's just like meh. It's whether you have the character to put it on that you want to be within that range. You know.
yeah, I'd
That
rather a double doom bolt.
That's it, right? That's it. But yeah, so that's that. So yeah, we'll go on to the enhancements. I think now we go on to the section where we're going to go on to a few lists. So basically, Bristol, there was 4 players who went 4-1 with 1,000 suns. None of them got a top cut, so obviously they're balanced. Please leave us alone. And one of them was me. I came 24th in the end. And that was with the warp meld. So I'm not going to go into that too much, but we do have. I'm going to share my lovely screen for you all. And then that one. No, that's the wrong one. Let's see this way. This is going to be edited out. Yeah. There we go. And then now we're going to go on to the thingy. Is it sharing okay, Harley, by the way? Before I
We're
carry on?
back.
Is it sharing
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, it's
Sweet,
working.
sweet, sweet. So, okay. So, and yeah, so basically now we're going to go on to the list. This is Bristol GT. There were, 400 and many, lots of people. Lots and lots of people. So basically, the first Thousand Suns player you'll see is myself there with the Thousand Suns there. That's when I lost into the guard round 2, and that was that. Then the next player you will see is Vic, Mr. Vic, the gent himself with his Thousand Suns. So he went 4-1 in the end. He lost round 1, which is
Wow.
he gets cursed on round 1 sometimes. Vic. I watched that game. He got dawned. They just refused to die.
Did he
And
lose the guard?
no, he lost to. Sorry, I meant the. Is it Dawn? The Tyrannid big monster thing.
Oh, the Norn.
The Norn, not Dawn, Norn.
The
And yeah,
Norn.
so yeah, the Norn just refused to die. And if you go onto the list, he's taken Grand Coven.
Yes.
So he has the Exalted Sorcerer on disc with the Incendium.
Yeah.
He has the Infernal Master with the
With
Eldritch Vortex,
extra
plus 1
damage.
damage. Infernal Master and Prolific.
Oh,
Sorcerer, yeah,
these guys.
yeah.
The
Sorcerer.
sorcerers.
So
These
go on, Harley.
guys
What are they there for?
crazy. Yeah, these guys are pretty nuts, to be honest.
Yeah, what are they there for?
So you put them with a squad of rubrics.
hmm
Once per game, they have sustain 3 built in on their well, it's not a pistol, it's a 24-inch range gun, but it's sustain 3. They give the rubrics lethal, so it has sustain 3 and lethals. Once per game, it gets +3 shots and +3 strength. So it goes to strength 8, AP 1 damage with 9 shots. So basically, you pop him out the Rhino.
Yeah.
The Rhino shoots the target you want to shoot, which then gives psychic weapons +1 to hit and +1 to wound. So now he hits on 2s with +1 to wound. You get him to cast reroll hits on what you want. So now you're hitting on 2s with 9 shots, fishing for sustained 6s. So say you get lucky and you roll 4 6s, let's say. You get 12 additional hits and 4 lethals. And then
That's pretty good.
and then you're rolling to wound most things on 4s because you're strength 8 with +1 to wound if it's like high toughness.
Yeah.
With 4 rerolls to wound if they're on an objective. And
Yeah.
potential to dev wounds as well. It can have dev wounds.
Yeah, that's quite a lot for a 75-point model, isn't it?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So, yeah, so we've got 3 sorcerers. I'm guessing they're going to go into some rubrics later on.
Yeah, so that'll be pistoling people up with that sustained gun.
Yeah, for sure. And we've got a Zangor Shaman. Blatant Psycho piece is Blatant Psycho piece.
Yeah.
And he's an action monkey. So we have 5 rubrics, 5 rubrics, 5 rubrics, 5 rubrics, and 5 rubrics.
Rubrics.
So that is 5 units of rubrics. So I'm going to guess it's going to go sorcerer, 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 infernal master, infernal master.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's
that makes
pretty
sense.
standard.
Yeah, that sounds right. And then we've got, so yeah, that's 5. Yeah, basically, you've got the usual 3 Warp Flamers, Soul
Yeah,
Reaper,
Soul
and Malefic
Reaper.
Curse. It's fine. 2 Rhinos, obviously, because, they're amazing.
Yeah, they give +1 to hit and wound to psychic weapons now, which is really good.
Exactly. Then we've got a Forge Fiend, which you love your Forge Fiends. These
I think
guys
Forge
hit
Fiends
pretty hard.
are really good.
Mm,
For their points, they're good. They get a little bit outshone by the Vortex Beast at the moment,
sure.
but if it does take a points hit, Forge Fiends are where it's at. Going to
Yeah.
AP 5 potentially with rerolls to hit is pretty tasty.
Yeah, it does hurt, yeah. And then we've got Mutalith Vortex Beast, the usual thing. Only one of them though, which I find interesting. Then we've got 2 Enlightened, and then 3 units of bows, and then 1 unit of Zangors.
So a lot
But
of stuff.
a lot of stuff. But there are no. There's only 1 Exalted Sorcerer on disc. So there's only 1 of those units of bows which are actually lone op. So they can be picked up quite violently and quite easily. But it's a lot of stuff. And
He
it's a lot
has
of
a lot of
damage.
stuff and a lot of damage, but he doesn't really have anything that will survive, bar the one Vortex Beast.
Yeah, I think that's what my worry would be, right? I think the Forge Fiend is cute and the Sorcerer is cute, but if you take out a Sorcerer unit, as a Sorcerer and 1 unit of Enlight and 1 unit of Rubrics, and then maybe the 1 of the units of Enlightened or something, you could probably just fit in another 2 Mutaliths.
Yeah, because at the point it is now, it just dies very easily, that list.
Yeah, it does.
I can see this list is built in more of a trading term to try and
Yeah,
go,
sure.
I give you a unit, you give me a unit, and the rubrics will always kill what they go for. But they
Yeah.
are quite expensive, so they do lose a trading game.
Yeah, ultimately, it's a 4 wound character in there with 5 Marines,
Yeah.
right? Like they can die very quickly. And if they, I think what rubrics help you do as T-Sons is control the tempo of the game. Because if you don't control the tempo of the game as T-Sons, you either have to try and stat check someone, and that's not good because sometimes you just can't, or you have to try and sit away and pick away at their army for a while before you get the big points later on. Now, I feel like this is quite good for the tempo of the game, but also what happens if you just get rushed? Like, that can be a thing. And also, you've got so many pieces that can get tagged, which makes me itch.
Yeah, there's a lot of tagging into
Yeah,
this
like
list.
there's what 1 unit you don't want to tag, and the rest of it you're like, let's touch it.
Yeah. I mean, even the Vortex Beast isn't too bad to tag. It's not as great as the
And
other
that's what
stuff.
I mean. Like it's just like there's only 1 unit I wouldn't actively want to tag, and even then,
Yeah.
sometimes I just will anyway.
And you can't set up a couple of nice heroics with it to sort of help yourself getting out of the tagged.
Yeah, that's where the muteliths come in, right? That's where you need to have a couple of muteliths so you can dig yourself out of these positions. But
or even Magnus. Magnus can heroic, and no one will charge anything near Magnus because why would you?
yeah, exactly. That's where Magnus comes in normally. So this is what the first list looks like. I think this is solid, right? It's a
I
very
think
solid
it's a
list.
very good list, and this requires a very certain style of play.
This is Vic.
The Vic style of play. This
yeah.
is Vic down to a T.
This is Vic trying to make T-Sons into Eldar.
Yes.
And he's done it. It works.
He's done it.
The thing is, he got Norned really bad to turn round 1 on Terraform.
Which can happen.
Well, yeah, it's one of those. He just went, I'm going to go first. I'm going to walk forward and Terraform this. And then Vic, I imagine, was like, oh. While he denies his terraforms and kills stuff here and there. So yeah, so this was Vic's list, guys. Shout out to Vic, by the way. He's an absolutely lovely guy. I watched him play that game, and he was just like, I did my best. So he took it like a man, and he did great. But yeah, so that was Vic's list. Let's move on to another one. So we had Vic in 36th place, and then we moved down into another T-Sons player. Give me another T-Sons player. Struan! Have we missed someone? Lewis. I thought Lewis was
How did we miss someone?
Yeah, so we're going to go with Lewis next. So Lewis's list, Grand Coven, classic.
Yes.
He also doesn't have Magnus.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah,
What's going on?
he's not keen for it. So this looks like a slightly different build than Senor Vix. So we have
Pretty similar.
pretty similar, but slightly. I think it's the second Mutalith. I think is going to be good.
Yes.
So and he's also got just more stuff that doesn't matter, like Zangors. So we have Infernal Master with the crystal of Infernal Master with +1 damage, and Infernal Master with
No double Doom Bolt in this list.
no double Doom Bolt. So he has 2 sorcerers, obviously great. 5 units of rubrics. Oh, 5? Yeah, 5 units of rubrics. Yep,
it's hard to read how many rubrics they have.
So 5 units of rubrics, 2 units of Zangors, 2 rhinos, 3 units of Zangor with Buried Bows, 2 mulas, and a Forge Fiend. This feels a very similar style to Vic, right? It feels a very similar style to Vic and a very clear image of what he's trying to go for. I think he's got the Zangor gives him some scout pieces to make sure he doesn't get charged violently on those search and destroy maps turn 1. And yeah, I feel like we're going to be covering a very similar aspect here. We've gone through what Vic's listed, and this is very similar. This is very similar. All he's really done is replace a sorcerer with an Infernal Master. Dropped the Enlightened with spears.
And dropped like the character for that 18-inch low knot.
Yeah, drop the character because I'm guessing he just doesn't think he needs it because the damage is nuts. So yeah, I can understand it. I mean, I think the main thing here is like for me the second Mutalith is going to help him here. Like I think it will. But yeah, any notes from you, Harley, on this one, or is it just very similar to the one before?
So similar to Vix. It's just a couple personal preference changes in this case, like the third Infernal Master over the third Sorcerer, a second Mutalith instead of the low knot character. It's very similar. They do the same job. They trade well. I prefer second Mutalith. I don't like no Magnus though.
Yeah, but we're gonna fix that soon, Harley, because I've got a guy that comes to my events as well, and I love the guy, and he does very well with his Thousand Sons. It is Struan Robertson. So let's have a look at his list. Da-da-da. Okay, Magnus, there he is. He's back. So he's called his list the absolute goat. He's not using goats. How dare he? So yeah, he's got Magnus the Red. He's got
triple exalted.
Triple exalted sorcerer for the lone op. Infernal Master. He's basically trying to. He just wants all the damage. So
that is so much damage. Yeah.
10 Zangor, 3 units of Enlightened, 2 Spawn,
triple beast and all.
Yeah. So this list is you want the cake and you want to eat it at the same time, but you don't want to have to use a spoon. You want to be able to swallow it like a boa constrictor.
Yeah, this list is like damage.
He wants to. Yeah, he just wants all the damage.
And it's like the exalted sorcerers are good, but 100 points is quite pricey when you're taking 3 of them.
100 points a go is a lot. I had 3 of them, right? But I needed them because the goats were part of my game plan. But
they were part of your damage, right? And your damage couldn't die in your list because you didn't have no other damage, really.
Exactly. Apart from the 3 Mutaliths and the Zangor Shamans with their Strength 9 Flamer, by the way. Don't forget about them. They're amazing.
I feel like this list is really good, really focused on damage. My personal preference would probably be drop 2 Exalted Sorcerers on discs and maybe get a little bit more in the list.
Yeah, see, I think you're right. To be honest, for me, with Cran Coven, I do think 2 sorcerer units. I think 2 units of two sorcerer units with rubrics are fantastic. I think 2 are great. So what I think you do is you go down to 2 Mutaliths, right? Drop 2 of the Exalted. That's 360.
You can get maybe a Rhino and another rubric unit.
Yeah, so for 360 points, you get 2 sorcerers and 2 units of rubrics. That's 350. Then all you have to do is drop 60 points to fit in 1 Rhino, right? 60 points is...
maybe Zangors.
maybe Zangors.
Well,
I
you
think
could
the
even
Zangors are good with the
drop
scout.
6 bows. You could. I mean,
No, you wouldn't drop 6 bows, would you? I think this is probably where Vic was coming from, right? It's probably why he wants to drop the second Mutalift, but I just think the Mutalift keeps you alive and keeps you in games.
I need to test on UKTC. WTC 3 is amazing.
Yeah.
UKTC, I need to see if 3 is worth it, and
Mm.
then maybe drop 1 and maybe go Rubrics plus Sorcerer instead
Yeah.
for a little bit more Rubric MSU. But
Yeah,
that
I think
needs
that
to
can
be
work.
tested.
Yeah, for sure. So I think where I'm at here with this is it's just all damage, which is obviously fantastic, and I'm guessing he just wants to tame people, which can work, But I know what list he came up against where he had some trouble. So he played.
Looks
Where
like
is
he
his
lost
list?
round 3, which is Matt Hollocks.
Matt Hollocks, yeah. And this was Death Guard, I believe. Yeah, it's
Yes.
Mortarian's Hammer. So the thing is with if I go first into Mortarian's Hammer, I truly don't care it exists. That is the simple truth because it is not moving for 5 turns or not moving anywhere meaningful. Whereas Struan's list doesn't have anything to move block, right? He doesn't have any of those
Yeah.
pieces that you just like throw. He has like one unit of goats. When they're gone, they're gone.
And then Death
Um,
Shroud are a nightmare to screen with his
exactly,
list.
exactly. They're a nightmare to screen. You just don't have enough stuff to screen. And I think this is probably where it just went wrong for him, right? I can understand it because hey, it's understandable to have this sort of thing happen, but I think that is unfortunately the result of having all the damage.
All of the damage.
Don't get me wrong, by the way, Stuart, if you're watching this, I absolutely love your list. I think
It's a beautiful list.
it's a piece of art that you've got all that in there. But I think this is obviously where he struggled. So yeah, it is Mortarian's Hammer. It's the usual thing. 3-fold bloat drones, Death Shroud. Only 2 Death Shroud. That's interesting. And yeah, so that was that player. See if we can find one more T Suns player. Huh? Should we try? I think that's all the 4-1 T Sun players, unless I am mistaken.
No, there's
Oh
one there.
no,
Oh,
one
there's another
there.
one.
Ewan Davis, Bugle Bat Reps. Let's have a look at your list, sir. Please be Warp Meld. Rubric High Phalanx! Let's go! What does this even do?
I think it's +1 to save against damage 1.
Right, I'm gonna get this up. Guys. So
I see a Sorcerer and Terminator armor. This guy's going to have a unit of 10 Terminators.
I feel like
He's got 10 rubrics. A squad of 10.
Unit 10. So he's got Exalted Sorcerer, Infernal Master. He's got Lord of the Rubricae, which is
Magnus. He's got Magnus.
So basically, while the bows in the unit, Rubricae models. Basically, he's got that what's it called?
Enhancement.
Enhancements +1 to hit for your Rubricae units.
Pretty
He's
good.
got Magnus, which is obviously great. He's got a unit 10, a unit 5. Interesting. Rhino. Interesting. I was gonna say at this point, I feel like I've seen more than the points that I've seen. He's got Mutilith, and here we are. 10 Scarabus Skirminators. 2 robots. Well, unit 3 with great bows, unit 3 with great bows, and some Zangor.
This guy is a legend.
This guy is a legend. I really like this list. I don't know how good it is, but I like the concept.
So the Terminators get +1 to hit. I believe they get lethals from the what's his name? The Terminator and Sorcerer armor. Check that for me, please, Ed.
Yeah, I'm just having a look. You carry on.
Believe that he gets lethals. So in a unit of 10, I believe you get 2 Soul Reaper cannons and 2 missile racks, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's 2 missile racks.
Yeah, 2 missile racks.
It'll say on there. Yeah, 2 Soul Reaper.
So you get 12 shots hitting on 2s with sustained and lethal. Most likely going to have rerolls to hit from the Sorcerer. So you're fishing for 6s. So on average, you probably get 3 sustained, 3 lethal. At strength 6, AP2, ignore cover, which is pretty good. Then the missile racks will have lethal hits. And then they're decent shooting with rerolls. And then you have a load of Inferno combi bolters that are 4 shots each, AP2, lethal hits, reroll hits, hitting on 2s.
Yeah, and do you know what's really fun? Right. So I've just spotted something. So let's say this unit of 10 is in a Rhino, right? And you probably have like the Infernal Master in there, right? Unit 10.
Yeah.
So that unit can disembark out of a Rhino. Let's say, for sake of brevity, we're gonna go with threat ranges. Let's say they advance a 6, right? So let's say they roll a 6. They're gonna be moving 15 inches out the Rhino, right? We agree? And then they can surge. Right, so then they're going to go 21, and there's a strat which gives them assault.
Ah, God.
So you could have a unit of 10 rubrics and an Infernal Master potentially moving 21?
I
Yeah,
wish I
21
could
inches in
witness
shooting.
this guy's games for the weekend. I bet he yeeted that unit so far most of the
I would eat it every time.
Imagine you're sat behind a wall like, yeah, I'm safe, no issue. My unit is 6 Sangard and Dante or whatever you've got, right? Your big scary unit. And then he's just got a rhino behind an L somewhere.
Yeah.
Ka-ching! You're
And
dead.
do you know what else it is, right? Do you know what one thing that Rubrics always struggle with, right? They struggle with the toughness 9 targets, right? Because the 6 is to wound. That's really annoying, isn't it, right? There's a strat that gives you the psychic ability keyword, makes all the Inferno combi bolt guns and Inferno combi weapons. Oh, it's only bolt guns. Is it not the Inferno bolt pistols, Inferno bolt guns, Inferno combi bolters, and Inferno combi weapons? Does that include the flamers?
I don't think so.
No, it doesn't make the
Does
flamers.
it
I thought
make
they
them
could.
psychic?
Yeah, it makes him psychic and strength 5.
Oh. So you
That's
can
interesting.
do that on the Terminator unit.
You can't. Yes, thousands of psyche units. See, that works on that works on them. And then we've got your opponent. This is the next strat. This is Revenge of the Rubric High. Your opponent's shooting phase just after a 1,000 psycho model from your army is destroyed. One Rubric unit from your army that is within 6 of the psycho model when it was destroyed. After the attacking unit is shot, your Rubric can shoot as if it was your shooting phase. But when it resolves the attacks, it can only target the enemy unit that destroyed your psycho.
So what you're saying is that unit of Terminators sits in the middle of everything, and anything that shoots it, they're getting shot back by Terminators.
Yeah, and you can just have lone. It's just any character. It's just 1,000 psychos. You can put like a Zangor Shaman next to them, and then shoot it back. So that's fun.
You just put the 10 rubrics and the 10 Terminators next to each other in like a death bubble.
Okay, and I've got a 2 CP strat, by the way, Harley. A 2 CP strat. So your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit selects its targets. One Rubricate Marine Psyche unit from your army that has been selected by target of one or more of the attacking units. And so at the end of the phase, -1 damage.
Ah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. I can see it.
Damage is now. Oh, does that also now make it 1 damage? So now you get +1 save.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Because it's -1 from the damage characteristic, so it gives your rubrics 2 up saves against damage too.
God.
So that's fun. And then we have Unwavering Phalanx, which is the last. Oh, sorry. They also have a fallback shooting charge trap, by the way. Yeah.
This is a pretty stacked attachment.
Yeah. Then your opponent's charge phase just after an enemy is selected, just after an enemy ends a charge move. One rubric Marines unit from your army within engagement range of that unit. And so at the end of the phase, each time its attack targets that unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll.
I mean,
that's a really good set of strats.
a really good set of strats.
So yeah, that's a really good set of strats, and the Terminators are cool. Like you can do -1 damage. You can't do
damage on them.
Yeah, you can't do -1 damage on the Terminators, but yeah, exactly. But you can fall back. I think it's not locked to Rubric. The fallback. Rubric High. Are Terminators Rubric High?
Oh God, me and Ed search the phones. What is
Scarab? Scarabs! No, not Scarab Swarms. They're nerds. Keywords. Rubric High! Yeah, they can fall back shooting charge.
Wait, does that mean you can -1 damage? Because it was Rubric.
No, it's Rubric Marines unit. That
one
was, I think. They thought about that one, I think.
They didn't want -1 damage Terminators. They didn't want Deathwing Knights again.
Yeah, they didn't want Deathwing Knights for like a fraction of the cost. And yeah, and then the second tower robots are fine, right? What do they even do? Should we find out together?
It's just a bit of shooting, really. A bit of backbone shooting.
Yeah, and it's also
only 90 points.
Yes, 90 points, and they infiltrate, right? Which is not bad. So yeah, this list I'm gonna go with. It says bye cultists, hilarious. So yeah, I think this is just cool, right? I think it's just a cool list.
I think this is the funnest list.
Yeah,
or the damaged one.
Yeah, I think Struan or this one so far has my vote for the most fun.
Or the goats. Or the
goats. I don't know who wrote that list, but it must be amazing. And yeah, so that was Ewan with another 4-1. We'll see if we can find one more player who's. Oh, we'll just go one more player, even if it's 3-2, right?
Let's have a little look what people are using, and
let's
we
find
can
one more.
Get a feel for what people are liking.
So
there we go, John Swan.
John Swanston. That sounds like a Parks and Recreation.
He went 3-1-1.
3-1-1. Okay.
Grand
so he's got
Coven.
3 Exalted. Yeah, Grand Coven. 3 Exalted, Forbidden Law.
Yeah.
3 Exalteds, interesting. Infernal Master, Eldritch. Infernal Master, Unprolific, interesting. Magnus,
Magnus.
Zangor Shaman. Rubric, fine. Mutilith, Beast. That is literally Struan's list, isn't it? Bar, he's minus the Chaos. No, it's same structure. So he's basically minus Chaos Spawn, added the Infernal, added the Zangor Shaman.
Yeah. Well,
so game respects game. Damage seems to be popular in these lists for some strange, unknown reason.
The goats.
Yeah. What's the? Is there a witty name? That's Bristol GC Coven. I understand.
Oh, you gotta have cool names, guys.
Yeah, come up with a witty name, even if it seems bad. It's just funny too. And then we'll see if we can find one more. I keep saying one more. Whoa.
Last one.
What is it? One meld! Yeah! Legends! So we have Infernal Master, Sorcerer, as we know, as Harley gave a great description of it earlier. It's great. Zangor Shaman with the Design of Distortion, that's -1 to hit. 2 more Zangor Shamans. A unit of Rubrics, a unit of 20 Zangor, a unit of 10 Zangor. Bear in mind, there are actually 2 in this detachment, guys, which is really good. A Forge Fiend, Mutilith. Yes, triple Mutilith in this detachment every time. Great. Sekitar, Zangor, aligned with great bows. Fantastic. Love this list. Love it. I think this is arguably, in fact, not arguably, definitely better than mine. Like my list is basically like a B-Tech version of this because I wanted to have the Infernal Masters afterwards.
Bit more damage.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's basically got the same damage. He has the damage my list is these enlightened, Mutilith, and
he's got Forge Fiend and Rubrics.
And he's got Forge Fiend and he's got Rubrics. This is what I mean. So he's got much more damage than I do. So I think this is really good. And yeah, so the Zangor Shamans, by the way, they've got this really cool rule. So I haven't covered this yet, actually, which is actually interesting. So the Zangor Shaman, right, has this ability where whenever it attacks in combat or in shooting, right, he can basically kill D3 bodyguard units, and it adds D3 to the attacks and strength characteristic of the psychic weapons equipped by this model.
And he's +1 to hit while leading a unit as well.
Exactly. So let's say, for instance, his Baleful Devotion. So he's got D6 shots, hitting on 3s, strength 9, damage 1. No AB. Right. So let's say he gets D6 plus D3. So let's say D6 plus 8. And then it's actually strength 11 with Blast, Dev Wounds, +2 shots, and Psychic.
And then you can give it +2 AP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, these flamers.
So if you roll a 5 or 6, you're wounding big knights on 3s with a flavor.
Yeah, and the biggest thing, right? The biggest thing is whenever this is the thing that people forget, right? It happens in your shooting phase, right? So you shoot in your shooting phase, you kill D3 of your models, right? And then guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna bring them back onto primary. The amount of tricks in this detachment is absolutely nuts. I love it so much.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Right, okay. And then we're going to do a little closeout, Mr. Harley. So we'll swap all this background to what it's actually meant to be. Look how big your face is. There we go. Okay. And yeah, so those are the Bristol list, guys. So effectively, me and Harley are going to do a few of these. We're going to be doing one on AdMech as well. And it's going to be really fun. Effectively, we're just going to be going through some of the lists that you see in common or bigger events that are going around. Glasshammer, I'm going to be trying to cover as well, because I'm going to be there as well. So it'll be interesting to see what brings about. My list is amazing. It's not a meme at all. It's not a promise. It's a very serious list. I am taking a clock with me over the weekend, though. So
it's the most Ed list I've ever seen.
It's amazing. And yeah, so we're going to call it a day on this one. Any closing thoughts, Harley?
T-Sons are not broken. Don't nerf, please.
Look how sweet my baby boy is. Leave him alone.
Don't nerf them.
Don't nerf his little boy.
No one made top cut, so they're average.
Exactly. See, A tier. We put them in A tier. So that's where they are. Okay, so guys, it's been a pleasure. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.